Hello and welcome to the ShadowCast with your Thomas Edison and Abigail Mowat.
Hello, 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 hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello.
I I apologise if I struggle, but I can't hear again.
You are deaf once more.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just struggling to hear at the minute. It'll be fine soon. Um what have you been playing?
Well, this week was interesting. I got to have a go on an Oculus Rift. So that's what I've been technically playing this week.
Okay, you
So
got to have a go.
yeah,
What does that mean? Enlighten
it's
us.
not mine. It's I don't know if it was one of the lectures or belongs to the college, but we've got actually I don't know if it's an Oculus Rift or an Oculus Quest. He kept calling it an Oculus Rift, but we got to have a go on it, and it is insane. I didn't realize just how immersive these things were. I got to have a go on a couple of things. One was the plank, but I was too scared to walk out onto the plank,
Right.
even though it was my classroom.
So just
And
to
knowing,
clarify, it's sort of like a virtual reality headset.
yeah, VR headset,
Okay.
but it has music playing really close to your ears and goggles, so you cannot see anything apart from what's being
Yep.
displayed in front of you.
Yep.
So I had to go on the plank. I think it's called Richies Plank, but I couldn't walk out on the plank. It freaked me out too much. And then I got to have a go of looking around what looked like a Grand Canyon, but there was like houses in it, like futuristic pod houses. It was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning, and it is just bizarre because first of all you're in a classroom and then you put on the headset and then you are in a different world and you believe that you're there because it's so realistic and it's just gorgeous. And then I got to have a go. I think it's Richie's Plank, but you get to fly about. You've got like little rocket jetpacks on your hands, and you get to
Iron Man.
fly around a city. What did you say?
Iron Man.
Some kind, not really. And you get to
Anthem.
fly. Can I finish what I was saying and then you can interrupt?
No. Because once you're done, I can't technically interrupt, can I?
You have seen through my trap of logic. So yeah, you are able to go flying about a city, but it is you get so close to buildings and things like that. And again, it feels like you are free falling because there was at points where I stopped the jetpacks and literally just looked down and watched myself fall and then fly back up again. And I did that so many times. It was actually really bizarre doing that because I wouldn't walk out on the plank, but I would happily do this because it just I don't know what it was. I think it was because it was like a gradual fall. It felt a lot better, but it just felt amazing.
I think it might have been the fact that you knew you could stop it at any point.
Yeah.
Because if you
But
fall off a plank, you
the
can't.
the kind of mechanics of it was a lot like the game Anthem. So that's how I kind of remember it being like this idea of falling and things like this. It's like watching it on screen compared to actually watching it like in VR.
Ah.
But the only difference is that the rockets don't overheat after 10 seconds.
3.5 seconds of flight and you need to go for a bath.
Yeah. It's absolutely incredible. I absolutely loved it. So that's what I've been playing this week. I've been playing about flying about.
So what... Do you know what the name of that game was when you were flying about?
It's part of Richie's Plank, I believe, because we had to walk out onto the plank to trigger it.
Right, okay. And what was... Why did you get to do this? What was happening?
Part of it is we are going to be looking at VR as part of the course. So this was basically another form of what we can do in art. We actually got to try what's it called? It's like a one where you can paint in 3D space. I
Right.
didn't have a go at that, but I watched other people do it because the lecturer was able to cast onto his phone so we could see what the person in the VR headset was seeing,
Right, okay.
and that was incredible.
Okay. So it's a bit just sort of like watching the TV while somebody play a game.
Yeah. But obviously you've got the person in the room with you, so there was at one point where one person did fall over. And then somebody else walked into the lecture, but nobody was paying attention. The next thing we just saw was somebody walk into the lecture.
Right.
And then one guy was losing his mind over it. Like he was like going, "Oh my god, I can't believe that!" And oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I've tried those before and I was okay, but the people I was sharing one with, they couldn't do it. They kept getting headaches.
Oh, I definitely felt like I had sea legs afterwards.
No, they had
Or
actual
land legs.
headaches. But they both needed glasses, so that might be why.
Yeah.
No, I've tried those before. I mean, I was different. I was looking at like ways that you could use it to teach biology. So I was watching like heart beats and like visual representations of the heart and the lungs and that sort of thing.
Yeah. So you were flying about a city.
I wasn't flying around a city. I was flying around a chest. But yeah, is
Well,
that
that's what
yeah?
I was just going to say. That's what I've been doing. So,
Okay.
what have you been doing this week?
I watched a rather fascinating F1 race. This year's been really interesting. Like it's actually been really really interesting the way that the die keep falling for the two challengers. They just keep they just getting thrown from pillar to post. It's quite interesting. But in a more video gamey way, I played another few hours or a couple of hours of 2 hours of Divinity.
Was this with your brother?
With my brother, and just as a heads up, we're source hunters, right? That's the whole point of the game, and source is the evil magic.
Evil magic.
And we were sent to Sicil, the town city in the game, to help them with something, which was to investigate a murder of their representative on the Grand Council. And after what seems like 467 hours, we managed to solve that mystery.
Is that good or bad? I can't really tell from your facial expression.
We had to play for genuinely like 20 or 30 hours doing loads of other missions before we were able to be strong enough to defeat the boss we had to fight to get this information.
Yeah.
But now we have done that. It was a very interesting fight because I charged my two melee guys in. I remember I told you that I put some points into some stuff, so my guy has Taunt, right?
Yes.
So I charged my two guys in, and my brother kept his two mages at range. And on my second turn, I summoned my zombie friend, Nick. And then...
My zombie friend, Nick.
Yep. And then with Midori, my other character, she has this whirlwind attack, where she just spins in a circle and hits everything. And we couldn't
She
use
an
it.
airbender.
Pardon?
She an airbender.
Yes. But we couldn't use it. So this is probably the third attack, actually, not the second. Might even have been the fourth turn, sorry. But eventually the main enemy boss, who was linked to one of my other characters for a few turns, so we couldn't attack her directly without hurting ourselves, she walked out of the circle. So Midori could use her whirlwind attack and only hit the enemy allies. She wouldn't hit the boss. Because any damage you do to the boss when they're linked gets passed on to the other character.
Mm-hmm.
Which was mine because of the taunt.
Yeah.
And other things. Proximity, my guy's ability to do a lot of damage and take a lot and all that jazz. And so, it might have been turn 3 or 4, not turn 2, sorry. And then, when this happened, I immediately got to Midori's turn, and did this with my guy. Sorry, I summoned in Nick, and then with her, I did the spin attack. But she was a lot more powerful than, let's say turn 3. She was a lot more powerful than I thought she was going to be, and 2 of the lower level enemies died immediately from this. But they were firehounds, so they detonated once they were killed.
I doubt that. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it did a lot of damage to the surrounding enemies.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it did like 300 points of damage in total. And the only reason Midori didn't die was because she resisted death. She has the ability to resist death every time her health drops to 0. As long as it didn't drop there from 1. So if she's on 200 points of health and it drops straight to 0, she can resist death and she has a chance to stay alive. And that happened. And she resisted and she stayed alive. But she'd killed 2 enemies and she'd severely weakened 2 more. To the point where they were a couple of hits from death, and they'd lost, say, 300 health points out of about 400 to 450 maximum. There were a couple of other bad guy skeletons that were there who weren't damaged by this because they're fire skeletons. So that makes sense. They were still there.
What exactly is a fire skeleton?
A skeleton on fire. It's called a charred skeleton. But the zombie was there that I had summoned. So I summoned in this zombie. Zombies don't like fire. So I summoned in this zombie and immediately explosions went off around it and it was down to like 1/8 of its health just standing there. And it never got a go. Because it got killed immediately. But that was the only thing that didn't go well for us actually during that fight. In fact, to be honest with you, the whirlwind was perfect. It doesn't matter if it took out that zombie. It really doesn't. It was so perfect. The enemy never recovered from it. Because we took down those other 2 guys very quickly. And it meant that we could just focus. Because we've got stuns, we've got freezes, we've got the ability to knock enemies down. So we just focused that on the 3 that were left.
Yeah.
And it meant that they didn't get full proper attack turns on us. Because they were either knocked out, stunned, or on the ground, or frozen. So they actually got very few attacks. And it turns out the boss's ability to do damage is pretty weak. It's more like status effects that she can do.
Yeah.
And it turns out the ability to summon in more enemies was actually given to one of the minions, not to her. That's their job. So once we took them down, we knew it was just her. And so it was actually pretty, after that spin attack, it was pretty obvious who was going to win. But that's just the benefit of putting those points in. I managed to find that guide that told me what all the end results were.
Yeah.
Turns out that there is a man-at-arms skill that allows you to reflect damage that's done to you if you have a shield.
How does that work then?
Pardon?
So did you say there's a way to cut out a little bit there. Did you say there was a way to reflect?
Yes.
Okay,
remember,
sorry.
I thought that was part of
I just wanted to make sure I heard what you said.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the skills system where you put a couple of points into there's a certain chance with a shield to block.
Yeah.
And you can put points into shield proficiency and that increases it. I thought it maybe because of some things that some people had said online that when you hit the highest rank, it allowed you to reflect damage back. Well, it turns out it's actually a power that's attached to it. It's not just the actual skill level of shield proficiency. It's actually a power that's attached to man-at-arms.
Yeah.
A skill that you can use. And I found that, and so I'm very tempted. It has a chance to cause bleed on my guy because it's you basically cover yourself in barbed wire. But if I've got a shield, it has a chance to reflect 25% of any incoming melee damage.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. And he's already got an amulet that reflects that damage as water damage. 20%. So, I mean, it would get to a point where he's reflecting a huge amount of damage.
So you will become invincible.
Well, you combine it with the fact that he's covered in heavy armor, has 10 constitution, and has taunt.
I still love the whole taunt thing.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty powerful. Like, it's
Yeah,
really pretty powerful.
I just imagine like in the corner, just like doing a little dance, going, "Look over here, look over here, look over here."
Well, it's not just that. It's the fact that my guy can dodge more than everybody else and actually can also then reflect damage. I've seen him dodge or combine of dodge or reflect 4 attacks in a row.
Jeez. Oh.
And the enemy will get, like most enemy units and most of your units will get 1 or 2 attacks in a turn if they don't move.
Yeah.
The most I've seen is 3 or 4 from a specific enemy that can do a bit more. But to dodge 4 means you're probably leaving a couple of units at least who haven't been able to hit anybody that turn. So it's I'm really tempted to go and get that skill book. It's a lot of money, but I'm tempted to because I think that could
Real
be his
world
sort of thing.
money or in-game money?
Oh no, like gold.
Yeah. I was like,
No, I wouldn't spend actual money, but yeah.
they require you to go to a bank and trade in your hard-earned cash for actual gold.
Yep.
And just slot it into the CD
Into the disc
tray.
Yeah. You hear it rattle around like a piggy bank. Where's this going? And then we went back and we got immediately spoken to by the wizard who'd summoned us, and he's like, "Oh my god, what's happening? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god," and he's talking about all this stuff. We went around the town, we sold some gear, got our gear fixed up. Yeah, he's all in shock about what's happening, but he's told us he knows somebody might be able to help, blah blah blah. We reported to the guy in charge of the legionaries there. We spoke to the guy in charge of the town. We spoke to the guy's wife. And we did all that. And then we decided to activate this pyramid that we had been given. It's a teleporting pyramid that we'd been given like only a few hours into the game. And maybe 5 or 6. Like it was our 3rd or 4th time playing. We'd activated it before, but we hadn't liked what happened, so we'd loaded it back up. So we did it this time, and my brother beamed into a room where a woman was having a bath.
Any particular reason?
And she was bathing.
So that was the reason.
Yeah, she was in a bath because she was having a bath. She wasn't just sitting in the bath fully clothed saying, "Yes, I've been expecting you, Mr. Bond." She was having a bath. And
I understand why she was out in the bath. I'm saying, is there any reason why your brother teleported into it?
Yes, because he used a teleporter pyramid, and they're connected, so you beam from one to the other when you use it.
Right, okay.
But we didn't have the blue one, we only had the red one. And the wizard who gave us it said, "I can't remember where the other one is." But the woman sort of gave the game away because she said, "Oh, there was a cat in here earlier," and that wizard can turn into a cat. So we think he left it there so we would beam into the room with the half-naked woman. So
it's all a trap.
We ran out of time after we spoke to her and calmed her down, and when my brother was occupying her, I just ran around the room stealing absolutely everything.
You have a problem.
Yep. And then I took the blue one, so I've got the blue one, he's got the red one, so we can beam to each other whenever we want.
Oh, that's good.
But and whoever you're linked with goes, so if he's got 2 characters, they'll both beam, or we can leave one and then we can. The problem is that because we're playing in co-op, we can't beam all 4 of us. So if we left one somewhere and then activated it, somebody would be left behind. So
oh, that sucks.
We are going to have to use it as a way of beaming to each other. Or it might be possible that he could activate it and then send it to me after he's beamed. I don't know. But yeah, we've got one each now, and we thought, right, so we left that building where the woman was having a bath, and we just shut the door. I laughed my head off when he beamed in first time round, and then I thought, oh, I want to see what's happening, and I walked up to the door and it opened. Because we knew where it beamed us, but we knew that only one of us could go, so we decided he was the best bet to go. So I was standing outside the building just like, oh, when can you open the door and let me in? And the door just opened. Like, I walked up to it and just pressed A and it opened. So I was laughing my head off thinking, why has he had to beam in there when I can just open the door? Well, it turns out the door is permanently locked until one of your party ends up... Can you hear me?
It's me. My internet connection dropped. I just saw the symbol and now it's got the signal symbol again. So sorry about that. It's my fault.
No problem. So yeah, it turns out that the door lock level is 99, so it's permanently locked, but it unlocks automatically once somebody is in the room. It's so that you have to use the pyramid to get the other pyramid, and then it gives you a sort of like a functional tutorial on how they work.
Mm-hmm.
But I just found that so funny that I was absolutely squealing my head off laughing at that. It was a real high pitched total body laugh. But then we decided, right, we ran out of time, so my brother wasn't going to be able to play anymore. But we just decided what we were going to do next, and it was we were going to go and ask I was going to run the characters up to the wizard that I spoke about, and just check to see if he had any dialogue options to speak about the fact that we beamed into a room with a woman having a bath.
Yeah.
And he does. So that's where I've saved it, and that's the next thing we're going to do, is we're going to basically just say to this guy, why did you have us beam into a room with having a bath? It also turns out
the quest, young one.
Yeah, it also turns out that one of the fights that we tried to do to level up for the boss I spoke about at the beginning was near an old church, fighting some fire skeletons. And it turns out that the reason that we couldn't do that was, one of the reasons that we tried that but it didn't work, was because and the reason that we tried it and it didn't work was we were trying to level up to fight the boss. The boss was a lower level than these guys were.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that makes sense is the fact that those guys are where we go next. So without realising it, we tried to use the next step in the main story to level up for the previous step in the main story. Yeah. Because it's all about...
My brain just broke.
Yeah, you can't just sit and do a quest all in one go. It's not levelled that way. So we were running around trying to find other ways to level up. But yeah, there's only a few areas left to explore in this section of the map, or in this map section, as it were, before we're going to have to move to another part of the world. But yeah, as I said, last time we really felt like that was the first time we felt like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's still the same. We still feel like we now know what we're doing with the game.
That's good.
Yeah. So we're pretty happy about that.
Awesome.
We got lots of experience points for fighting that evil lady. And then talking to the zombie. Spoke to the zombie of the victim, and it turns out that the victim is actually somebody we would have to have killed anyway. Because we're source hunters, so we kill the users of the source, which are called sorcerers. And the victim that we had been called in to investigate the murder of was actually, it turns out, a sorcerer.
Oh, right.
Who was killed by a good person killing a sorcerer. Not a sorcerer killing him.
I think I've got it.
Yeah. So now we're going to go and... That's when I said the wizard that we spoke to said there's some people that can help. Well, that's who he was talking about. The one who came bursting in and killed the counsellor. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's finally got to the point where we're properly able to just enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah. Especially with me having leveled up and now wearing the proper armour rather than just a big robe. Anyway, yeah, so that's really what I've been playing. I've played some stuff of another game, but I'm not ready to talk about it. So
Doth you have a story for us this week?
yeah, it's just a quick one. It's just Nintendo. Nintendo are releasing a veritable cavalcade of Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 games to the Switch via an online subscription service. You'll be able to play games from the past.
Oh, so they're just trying to hit at the nostalgia.
Yeah, but it's doing it in the right way. They're also releasing wireless controllers, so the old N64 controller, but wireless.
Okay.
40 quid, I think, for the N64 one.
That's
I mean,
a bit steep.
to be honest with you, I want to see the full price of this membership thing. And the controllers are only on offer for sale to people who are part of the membership scheme. But the Nintendo 64 games, just to include Super Mario 64,
Yeah.
Mario Kart 64, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Ooh, that's supposed to be the very good one, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I already own Super Mario 64 because of that Superstars re-release
I
thing,
remember you
although I
buying
don't
them.
own a Switch yet. But
I
will-
bought the games before I bought the console.
Yeah.
Aren't I clever?
well, I had to because it was a timed release.
Yeah, because you said I should probably get them. I was like, no, because I am poor.
Yeah. But now you can play the important one anyway, which is Super Mario 64. And The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Like, I don't
Well,
really
I still
care.
can't because I still don't have a Switch.
Yeah, but my point is that I don't care how much it is. I've wanted to finish Zelda for a billion years because I couldn't finish it as a child, but I'm not a child anymore. I will pay almost any amount of money to get a chance to finish that.
But you still need a Switch.
Yes, I will pay the money for the Switch as well. I don't care. Here, all my money. Have all my money.
Is the Switch a reasonable price yet, or is it still pretty steep? I've got Ocarina of Time songs stuck in my head now.
It's $260.
That's still too much for me.
Yeah.
They might do some for that. Was it the Black Friday deals or something like that?
If you connect it up to a computer, to a TV screen, I'm not sure. I would never use it on the move. So I'm not sure how good the OLED one is if you never use the screen. I didn't even type in Nintendo, I just typed in Switch. Now I'm interested in what versions there are. The Nintendo Switch family. There's the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, which is basically just a big Game Boy Advance, or a big PS Vita, and the Nintendo Switch OLED.
I just typed in Nintendo Switch and an image of Game Boy Color came on. The purple one, which is the one I still have. I'm never letting that go. How much was the Switch when it came out, when it was released?
Hold on, wait a minute. Over three, I think it was $350. Connect online using the dock's LAN port when playing in TV mode. It doesn't have wireless internet.
I
Really?
thought it did.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that. It must do. Yeah, it must, because you can connect switches wirelessly, so it must have wireless. It must. It must, it just must.
It must. Anyway.
Yeah, I just thought that was worth talking about because it's,
I think it is.
It's...
Because the Switch, many people are fans of the Switch.
Yeah, I want one. I want one for the new Mario, for the new Zelda games. I just want Mario and Zelda games. That's it, basically. I want a Switch for Mario and Zelda. Don't care about anything else.
Simple man with simple needs.
Yeah, just the best games you've got, thank you.
Just a £260 games console and the games to go along and the subscription to go along with the games.
Yeah.
And also the cool wireless Nintendo 64 controller.
Yeah, and I'll need a Nintendo Pro controller. All in all, I need about £70,000.
That's a bit extreme. You need probably
So
about 500.
I will give £500,000. I will give you a 40% stake for $60 billion.
What am I getting out of this deal?
40% of a stake.
I do like steak. Num num num.
Yeah, like
I'm having steak for dinner tomorrow night. Just in case you wanted to know.
well, I did actually. I'm having nachos tonight
I'm talking about tomorrow night though.
to try and cheer me up because I'm all sore
Aw.
from my
Didums.
surgery.
Didn't have surgery.
Yes, I did. I had tree surgery.
You did tree surgery. You cut down some trees. Actually, you didn't do that. You trimmed some hedges.
Yeah, a lot of hedges. It normally takes about 3 days to do that. I did it in 6 hours.
Well done.
Oh, I can still see the screaming.
Shall we end it there before your tree memories come back?
Oh God. Oh,
So while
okay.
Tommy deals with the stress, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed what we were talking about. I've genuinely forgot why I was talking about there for a second.
Psst.
I did. All I heard was
Psst.
I've got no idea what you're saying.
For some reason,
you.
if I make a noise, you don't necessarily hear it. Psst, 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 psst.
I hear that.
Why couldn't you hear it before?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed it. You can like the videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button for when we upload. You can hit the share button. You can share it with your friends and enemies. You can leave a comment down below. That'd be fantastic. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. Tommy is the gatekeeper of all the emails because I still have not figured out how to look at them.
I've
Even
given you
though
all the information you need. I don't know how you haven't
I've
worked
been
it
on
out
this
yet.
channel for almost 3 years. And I still don't know how to access the emails.
Well, that's absolutely fine because we don't get emails, so it's not a problem. When we start getting emails, it will be a problem.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys come back next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.